So I'm Brandon Schlia,
Yes, and I'm Robert Zinni.
and we co-created this movie we're about to see here.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? We filmed it in 2018, the winter, and released it in 2019.
Yeah, geez, 2018.
Hmm.
And you sort of kind of had the genesis of the idea, right? You wanted to do this Uber driver thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had multiple jobs in my life, and for some reason, being a just driver, chauffeur, I felt was a cool storyline. And I brought that to you, and you're like, let me think about that. And we were able to build this cool world that became Franco and Sector 6.
Yeah, uh, I'm trying to think of how even.
I don't have it figured out.
I know that there was the
Basically,
idea
what
that
it
we
is,
wanted to do a Christmas set
yeah,
movie, and
that
I think
whole like Sakator
we
thing,
had a couple ideas batted around, and the
the
Uber driver
job
was the
is
one that won out.
a job,
And
Yeah.
then for
which
the
was
next
Sector 6. So
I
I see
guess
why the
a year in
actual
between, a couple years there, we would
celebrities,
do this
catfish,
every
crackheads,
holiday season, and
I've driven them all.
it's like it became so normal
Got
to me that right
suckers.
now I'm thinking that we need to go
I'm on
shoot a
a
movie.
company dime, so
You know, like I feel like we're coming up on it.
so
There's like some sort of weird
however,
PTSD, like the good kind.
Yeah, it's like our
one
tradition,
thing I won't do.
Like
Right.
forget friends and family. We're just gonna get together and
That's
call all our musical friends in Buffalo or actors in Buffalo and be like, "Hey, you want to film a short?" And it's gonna be the week of Christmas.
Yeah, man, and they all agreed. Somehow they made time, and we
Hmm.
got these things figured out. You know, we really did a great job with this film of scheduling the actors. Because remember, it would be just you and me cruising around, and we'd go
Yep.
and pick up. It was just like the movie, except it was like the way we shot, and actors would jump in, film, and jump out.
Yeah, and the
It was so
one
easy for them.
so easy for them. And what I really appreciate about this movie is that all the guest um, actors or stars really make the film. Like look at Derek with Sakatori. Like his cameo in this is ridiculous. But it really, I think that goes back to your further point about why we wanted to make this because we're thinking we have all these storylines and all these people, but scheduling is really hard. So how can we do it? And so we condensed it into a Uber driver or a Uber car, and you decked it out for the
Yeah,
holidays too. So
with the lights and all that.
yeah,
Yeah, man, we had like a vibe set in the car. I thought it was nice that I think the cold medicine was in the car the whole time, you know? And so it felt like Franco's car. And
yeah.
man, talk about Derek and his performance, which we'll get into obviously when Sakatori like makes his grand appearance, but in this film, he is such an undercurrent, you know? Like he is background, and he so clearly begs to be foreground at some point. You know, it was so easy to make that choice later and focus on him. But there are so many great characters all over the place.
Oh yeah, I mean
Can I
Banjo,
try stay
like
shift?
Scott did a good
Banjo.
job with Banjo,
Last year,
and
Yeah,
it's a good reflection.
I
Like
got
looking back on
stuck
it, and
way
like
in
Franco
the
and
middle.
Banjo, like we didn't
Keep
know at the
playing.
time, but they have
It
some
was
really cool
delivering
parallels
presents
that we were
to
able
my
to write
family of
into the
mice.
future episodes too.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Feeling lucky?
And
Is there like sort of a an overarching theme for this movie for our characters? There's kind of
Playing
like a
noises.
changing arc.
yeah, so like with Franco's character, I mean, right now he's
Took
going to
this
be like
bell.
getting high with robo tripping,
Might be
but
the
I
shit.
think
And the story he tells. Oh
yeah,
man.
and
I think that's probably true.
I think for Franco, it was about changing. So he's done with this traditional life. He just wants to change. And at the end of the film, that's where his climax goes, where he'll witness something. And then I think it leaves up
I didn't put these in.
interpretation if Franco changed or
Maybe
not.
Sakatori
And
don't
then
know.
all
Right.
the different
Sakatori says death wish
passengers,
gets more
they have
fares.
their own story
And maybe
arc.
he's right.
And a lot of them are very intense and very
Personally,
dark. I think this is one of our
I
first
don't
films,
fuck with
Brandon,
Christmas.
where it got really dark and really real really fast.
Yeah, yeah, we pretty much went drama because we have done so much comedy work, and there's comic relief, but I think yeah, we dug into the dark part for this.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Steve coming up, like his whole monologue
Yeah,
is crazy, you know? But I do want to mention this scene at 7-Eleven. Um, I don't know if you remember this, but like we were filming the next day, and this guy was outside of 7-Eleven, and he had a dog, and he sniffed me, and then cops showed up. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
They
I
got like
do
out of
remember
nowhere. They thought
that.
we were
I
making
well,
a drug deal.
I remember the 7-Eleven employees coming out to see what we were doing, and then the cops showing up after. Right? Are you talking about when we actually shot the scene out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops pulled up, and they. I, do you think that maybe they thought we had a gun? I mean, we were carrying a Steadicam with the iPhone in it. It probably looked kind of weird.
I don't know, man. My mind goes to the dog sniffed me. The guy left like immediately because the guy's like, "Is that your dog?" I'm like, "I don't like dogs," you know, because it was your dog or Scott's dog, you know. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Funny why my dog would smell you." I'm like, "Yeah, funny," you know, because I was just talking to a random guy, and then all of a sudden, like an hour
Right.
later, the cops came. So I think I don't know. That's where my mind goes.
Wow. They thought we were some drug operation.
I know, but we're just a low budget film production.
Yep.
Man, your shots here are beautiful. It really ties together
Oh,
the
thank you.
atmosphere.
Thank you. Yeah, the car was a difficult thing to light, and there's all this blue light is in there to kind of simulate darkness, you know, and also give enough exposure to the actors. That was a tricky thing with this film. I feel like that was maybe it was the iPhone 6 at this point, and that just didn't have low light sensitivity. You know, I mean, like iPhone 11, which got used later, definitely picked things up in much more detail in the low light. But this is tough. I think it turned out great still, but I did find myself recently looking into the AI software to clean things up, and the technology is not where we want it to be yet, but I think it's going to be there in like 2-3 years.
You really so you can like go back and then just have the AI go to a setting where you can see it more clearly.
Yep, it just scans over the information there, fills in gaps somehow through like machine learning, and, and then there you go. You can make it 4K. You can do like stabilization. You can do noise denoising. Yeah, it's all there.
You know, when we get our hands on that 4K technology for our next production, it's just going to elevate everything that we're doing. Because even the scene right now of us pulling up to here, it's very cinematic. Like the way that you
Yeah.
shot this film is very dark, and that's what I really appreciate about Franco. Is from start to finish, it's a dark film, and that's how we're inviting the audience in. Is like, please join our fucked up dark world.
Yeah, man. I remember being showing this at the Buffalo Dreams Festival. I think it was Dreams.
Yeah,
Was it that? Yeah, and the the host of the night called the film very stylistic or something like that. He had some sort of like term for it that I think meant we had a good aesthetic going.
hmm
And I would say that we set a good tone with Franco because the films that follow kind of carry the palette a little bit, you know?
yep. And what I really like about Sector 6 is like each one after Franco Brandon, we had not necessarily a script, but we knew that like we can make it a very successful short film altogether if we condense the sets into specific scenes. So I'm glad that like all three films put together, we only have like what 12 sets, if that. So it's very
Oh,
easy to like have that as our theme, or at least have that as one of those constant cinematic features.
yeah, dude. You know, I didn't even think of how limited the sets were on this, but it's still, yeah, it's got enough like travel to it because the car is just moving around all the time, and that's great.
Mhm.
But yeah, Sakatori takes place pretty much just in his house.
Yeah, his
It's like
office
all
room.
confined, and Blackstone's is like pretty much all in the motel or hotel.
Yeah, I can't wait to start to talk about that because those two settings that we picked for that film are intense and incredible. But hey, like that's why like filming in Buffalo at the holidays is really nice because like this is like a 4-year project that we made and it all looks like it's in the same, month of December.
Yeah, dude, it lines up. It really does. And I want to just comment on this scene real quick because these two are obviously brothers, and in the script are brothers, and it's just the chemistry of their reactions. Oh my god, it's a highlight of this one for me.
Oh yeah, man. When whew, they do a good job of bantering, and like you, at the one point, you really feel for both of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of moments in this film where I feel like we both got comfortable with the silent pause. Like, there's a moment where Christmas Eve Snow Day is playing in the background after they've been like the fighting reaches a peak and then they stop, and then the song comes in, and in that quiet moment, you just feel their feelings. The same thing happens later with Alicia's character.
Yes.
I think that those pauses are scary, like kind of hard to trust that the audience won't squirm, but in the end, they're like the bold choices that make for a better film.
I agree. That right there, that
Yeah,
right there
that's
is one of the
amazing.
best lines because I feel his like anger about Regina.
Yeah, yeah, and that situation is like, yeah, it's not uncommon, and it feels like I don't know, they're just emulating some bigger feeling in a good way.
Mm-hmm. I know, and like you did a great job of splicing this into the Bills Dolphins game that was on WGR the entire time.
That's right. Yeah, it's playing in the background. Hopefully, no one notices. I don't think it's not cost us yet.
No, but I can barely hear it anyway. So like,
It's beautiful though. It's that Buffalo feeling, just existing in the back. I love this him writing that on the window was like so unplanned, and it became such a nice little ornament.
exactly, and I think that's what really has helped us over the years with the actors that we use is because me and you have built films with scripts, and then we've had others with like guidelines. And so even though we have scripts, our collective of actors do a really great job of putting their own organic um, feelings or directions into these films. And just like you said, the Xmas on the window wasn't planned, but it's one of those magical moments of cinema that you just have to keep in there.
Yeah, yeah, man. We were able to work with some amazing people who were capable of investing the characters with like idiosyncratic things, like the Sakatori voice in this one is so distinct and really makes you wonder about the guy. Like, who is this dude, And Derek's creation of that character is so masterful. The way he just puts all these just weird isms into him, Like, you see him doing these neurotic things. Or the way he's, like, lifting the weight when the phone call comes in,
Right.
coming up here. It's like, who is this guy? And yeah, it's great. The same way that your accent for Franco is great. I love like changing the voice to match the character. It's
Right.
great.
That's always hard for me too, man. I always feel like I have a monotone voice, and so like Franco with this, like it was a very good challenge for me to try to like do it a little bit more like that and just like not break character, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I remember when we were like doing the test run. I think weren't we recording something?
Yeah.
We were like testing out the voice to see what we wanted it to be like.
Mm. Yeah, I know your feedback always told me to get it more back in the voice or the throat of it, you know? Because I mean, if you look at this scene, he's smoking a cigar, so he should has a raspy voice, you know? And I
Yeah.
got beat down in life so much too, so why the fuck would I care? I had to talk like this with no emotion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that gravelly thing. It's a good fit for him for that life.
Yeah,
Ter-
very important. At this point, do we know that all the storylines? Because for somebody watching this, like in about 30 minutes, that call is going to make a lot of sense.
You see what I mean with our willingness to trust the audience? I don't know if we're like stretching the audience, but we're just like, in 30 minutes you'll find out, but for right now, you're just going to be baffled. I like that feeling personally as a viewer. I hope other people enjoy it too. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. I like it. And like, oh my God,
It's fun.
it's fun. These two guys, man, like, oh my God, they're like the king of improvs in Buffalo. Like the
Yeah,
Kmart
dude.
joke right there. Like, what the hell?
This house and shot is like a house we don't know who is there, and we just like guerrilla filmed it twice, for this movie. I love that we were able to go back there and do that again.
Me too, and I think that's like I hope this era of filmmaking is like the true guerrilla one because like you know it's so hard to make films, but guess what? Everybody can make a film on their iPhone, and so that's why
Yeah.
like permits don't really make a lot of sense unless if you're like in a public space, you know. So hopefully no one cares that we filmed on random properties.
Dude, I know. Yeah. I mean, you were the first person to really blow my mind with that. I've told you before, but just giving me the opportunity to be a part of the Murphy series and make that short film inside of the movie, and to realize that it was possible, you know, just growing up loving movies and then finally realizing that you could make one,
Yeah.
that like that's possible. I owe it to you, man. It's an amazing gift.
Yo, thank you. Like, and same to you, man. Like, you've opened my mind with music because I never sang before, and then you trapped me in that basement after filming Murphy that one day. I think it was back in like 2013, 14, and then like the Shitty Balloons were born. I was like, you recorded that? What? Like, I was just like doing whatever on the microphone. So I'm glad that we both get to inspire each other in different ways.
Yeah, man, you're you were born to be a front man.
Oh,
Born to
thanks.
be the Shitty Blues front man.
Yes,
I,
that was my main
I
goal.
really love our blues album. That's what I was thinking about recently. Oh, I love this shot of this out of focus option through the Filmic Pro is nice. You
Mhm.
get that like lights blurring and all that.
Oh, it makes sense, especially with the connection with these two chumps on screen. Like, they're not sober whatsoever. They're not supposed to be
No, they're
like,
fucked up.
yeah. So that's why it's nice that you put that like the blur effect or whatever on there because it shows, or for me, what I'm looking at is if whoever's in the car is seeing what's outside and they're probably blurry, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And this is also like a pretty tense moment, you know, where they're kind of confronting each other's bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
This is all improvised, right? Did we kind of have the thread for this? Did we say that they were gonna? I don't even know how much we gave them.
I think we gave them your two brothers arguing, and you're going to your dad's funeral on Christmas Eve.
Right. That dad's funeral on Christmas Eve may have even been a game time. I don't. No, we had them dressed up, so maybe that's why.
But as
We
far
told
as
them to be rich.
everything,
We just said that they should be rich looking.
yes, they should be rich, and they made all this up.
Yeah, that's wild.
You're an animal. I don't even. I can't. You want to talk about me? Maybe getting my.
How lucky are we, Robert, to have these guys like this on our non-existent payroll?
Oh, very much so, man. Over the years, man, like they're known for all their comedy bits that they do with you, but like I felt like this was their strongest role, at least in our films,
Yeah.
because we asked them to be serious and they delivered to a T.
Yeah, the comedic actors oftentimes are some of the best dramatic actors. They just have range.
Yeah, and it shows them too, you know, because like doing any kind of joke is, I think is easier, but when you're asked to play a serious role, it's really hard, especially with
Yeah.
Alicia. Like this actress, holy hell, man, she rocked this.
She really did, and I've never worked with her before or since, but she came in so comfortable, you know, like she really could do it naturally.
Yeah, and this whole scene is one of my favorite shots you got because this is near downtown, and like she drops her phone. I don't know if you told her to do that, but then like this right here with the Canada and then the fire truck, like you couldn't plan that.
Yeah. So lucky, right?
Mhm.
I did not tell her to drop the phone. She just was like acting. She was kind of like throwing it a little bit, I think, and kind of upset. Yeah, that shot's really cool. The timing of this coming in. I like these two reverse shots that we have, like behind her and in front of her. I love this one when we see her approach. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when she knocks on the window here.
Yo, and I had no idea that was happening, and she freaked the fuck out of me.
Yeah, she knocks really fucking hard too.
Like that was a real reaction.
Hey, cowboy. You still on duty?
I love the tapping and the number change.
I know, right?
Oh man, that's a nice little. I feel like sometimes when you can like think on one idea for a really long time, you get these like nice little touches like that.
Yes.
How long did it take us to write Franco? A year?
Probably a year, because let's see, we were coming off. I know. I think it was 6 months. I think we were coming off of Otto and Buchanan.
Mm,
Um,
right.
and then we were like, hey, let's do another one. No, actually, yeah, I think a year. Actually, yeah.
Otto and Buchanan, dude.
Yep.
That's a great movie.
Yep. And that's one of my all-time favorites that we've done. Even though all of our films are our all-time favorites, but I think that one really broke the mold and kind of bridged us from the Murphy series to Sector 6 too.
Dude, yeah, I was definitely gonna say it's the transitional point for us, and without it, we wouldn't have been able to make this one, because yeah,
Yeah, and what
it
I know
definitely took us in a new place.
and what I notice is that your in Otto and Buchanan, your cinematography and directing eye really came to life. And so, do you know what inspired you to like to kind of like level up, if you will? Because if anybody sees Murphy, like it is a great trilogy, but we really had no skills making it, and that's what makes it so special. But like, what for Otto Buchanan and maybe Franco, what was like the inspiration? What changed for you as a director? Because collaborating with you, I that's when I noticed your change. I was like, okay, let's go, let's level up.
You know, I think it was just watching movies differently, because since I got a taste for a little bit of how to be behind the camera and make one, I started to look at movies and think, oh, he's doing this thing. Like I can, or she is doing this thing. I can see them like moving the camera a certain way. A lot of times you watch a movie and you're inside the movie. You're not really like, you're kind of taking it as your life, you know? And I think once I started to get real nerdy about it and watch movies like with the sound off and just like watch the cuts and see like how they're moving things around, that really helped me devise like a nice strategy for like storyboarding. Because when I'm writing the script, I'm usually visualizing the frame, you know? And it's really hard to do that if I haven't been in the space that we're going to film yet, or if I haven't location scouted and know exactly how people are going to be blocked, you know? But I think that with Franco, it was a super enclosed space, so I knew, like, I only have these few angles, you know? And, like, this is the only time that this shot is in the film, which is nice because it's like this is like such a poignant moment. And I think that it was like you had a lot of restrictions on Franco that made it fun to dream like how to be interesting cinematically. For instance, there's a shot coming up where you look at her in the side view mirror and you adjust the mirror. She like walks around, and that was like an idea of I have only so many surfaces in the car where like I could see the person in the back. Why don't I like use them all if I can, you know?
Nice.
And so yeah, so to answer your question, it's probably just like watching other movies that I've loved for a long time in a different way.
Yeah, this shot is really cool too. Plus, I just want to say that your fades, Brandon, in this film are spectacular. Like
Oh, thank you.
even like in the next couple segments of this. That's what I really like about Franco is like, especially when I said the story back in the beginning, and your fades of the transitions. For me as the audience, it really helps me get that dream world. And then fucking this.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
The
like
way Scott launches in is so amazing. The way he gets to Steve's neck height on this jump is one of my favorite parts.
yep,
Back of camera.
yep, that's the other one. Yeah, right there, right? He just like
Oh
out
yeah,
of
and then he takes
nowhere.
him right down.
We almost got the cops calling us again right here too.
I need another.
Dude, you remember what happened to Alicia on that shot?
No, what happened to Alicia?
No.
There's like one of those things where there's like a utility pole and there's like a wire coming down from it and it's planted in the ground. It's like staked in the ground. And she tripped over it and like wiped out.
Oh yeah,
real
that's
hard.
right. Well, thank you, Alicia, for sacrificing your body for the production of Franco.
Yeah, she bounced back. She's real cool.
Dang, okay.
That's me right there standing,
Yep.
and I'm like body doubling for you right there.
Mm-hmm. Good shot with the
That's
hand.
my hand instead of Steve's hand. Yeah, that's a nice shot. With the snow.
Yeah. We never close. Like, man, Buffalo is such a good place to film if you want to have like a universe inside of like a film, you know?
Definitely. Yeah. There's like so many little landmarks that look good on camera. Oh, I love this.
Yep. So like right now, I think Franco's. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the film is like the story arc. 'Cause I think for Franco to wrap it up, him taking off the hat, lighting the cigar in the car. I guess he's thinking about changing. Maybe he changed because his whole thing was about always allowing other people to talk, and he's just gonna be there. But now he was kind of forced into this experience. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think one thing that is just occurring to me now is that he makes this rebellious act, right, to get fired
Mm-hmm.
by not accepting the call, but he does not engage with the conflict of the call. You know, like he kind of shies away from like calling his boss. Yeah, I fucking quit. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
Um, so he's still on the borderline, I think, but he's like toying with the idea of rebellion. That's why it's so important that we see his story resolved later on. You know.
Yes, I think so, and I think your main point is because I think on a daily basis we all have to make those choices, and sometimes I don't know if you experience this, but like sometimes when I know I have to do something, I freeze and I don't, and then maybe that is that change or that domino effect where now I have to change or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I
Mhm.
know what you mean.
Oh
A little
man,
something unlocks.
look at that! This is Gator, right? Like,
That's actually that's Nate Gray, who he could be Gator because they look very similar, but different actor in fact.
mhm.
And I love this that we just have like a new driver, you know. So you've got all the vibes of Franco except it's daytime, and
Mhm.
it's like this whole switch, like we've entered a new world. This was fun because we had one pair of scrubs that we kept driving around to different actors and having them do this drug handoff here. They're handing tabs of LSD, and I don't know if anyone realizes
I
that.
don't think so.
It, yeah, I mean later on you get the idea that he's like doing something. Oh yeah, because this guy says it to the FBI agent about acid, but
Mhm.
um, this is cool right here. Sam Scher.
Yeah, I'm happy that you went to all these like senior assistant living homes and they're all doing acid as like the orderlies.
Right, yeah. There's this an entire backstory there, kind of lost about. I guess Sakatori felt okay with that, you know.
You're
Hmm.
an idiot. You're so fucking stupid. Everything that you want, it's all right
Christmas
here.
time
It's
at
already done.
Brandon's.
Here you go.
How long did it take you to deck this out? Because I recently did that for a promo I had to make, and that took me like about 2 days to decorate my apartment. So how long did it make you to decorate this set?
Dude, it was a couple different runs to thrift stores and like trying to accumulate just the right stuff because like the Santas, some of them just weren't right, and I think in here he's drinking out of a mug that says "I love Santa," and that was like the vibe we wanted, like for him to
Yeah.
be kind of obsessed. And so yeah, it took probably like three different runs and maybe, you know, like 2 hours or so to transform that whole place. Because that's the living room that becomes his office, you know. So my desk
Yeah.
moved out there and like kind of reshaped the whole thing.
Damn. There's that gun.
Yeah, that gun has been in every movie pretty much.
Oh man. Sakatori himself, man. His story arc
Yeah,
right here is crazy. Like
I
it
know.
really turns into an acid trip, and like the way that you shot this, because I didn't act in this one, so I was just your AD really, and so it was really cool to get behind
Yeah,
the camera with you and basically fill that role in with like whatever you wanted to do, and that's where I think we really jammed really well together. Because usually you're directing me when I'm acting, but like for this one, it was you and I that really got to like be behind the scenes. That was a really cool experience with you.
dude, I agree. That set us up perfectly for the next one because even though you were acting in that one, you were also capable of sort of being that role again, especially when we were filming in the hotel. We'll
Hmm.
talk more about it, but I think that you're right. You also made that incredible documentary on this one
Yeah, thank
because
you.
you had all the time to sort of be available to just see what was happening as it was unfolding, you know?
Hmm.
That was so cool that you put that together. Oh,
Thank you.
Issa Rae's character is really funny right
Dude,
here.
that shot right there is so awesome for Sakatori. Like he's ready. to shoot anyone.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
I brought you a cherry pie.
And yeah, so where did the nosy neighbors come from, Brandon? Because I feel like the nosy neighbors was definitely like more of like your idea. So like, I always want to know where the hell did you come up with the nosy neighbors?
You holler if you need anything.
I think what I needed for the nosy neighbors and who they are really, honestly, Robert, is the next door neighbors in Christmas Vacation.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
you know those two,
Uh huh.
Elaine and the other
Elaine.
guy.
Yeah.
And the reason I needed them, and I needed to switch them a little bit and make them like good-natured, like these guys are like trying to take care of Sakatori, so that in the end, when he has his revelation, he can interact with someone and the audience sees him as redeemed, right? Like that he's changed. And these people were a good little like breakaway. It's really, I think something that I learned with Franco and other films before is that you have to have content to cut to, you know, like you gotta get off the main story into some other thing, and it could even be backwards or forwards in time, but you gotta cut away so that you can come back. And so those neighbors are a good way to just like I think they show up again right before the FBI shows up, and it's a good like palate cleanser, you know.
Yep.
So I think that's what they were about.
I like that. Yeah, I know it definitely breaks up the storyline. And I think you said like at least this day and age in cinema, we are almost at like a recycle culture at this point where you have to keep your content fresh. Like if I went to go see like a movie that's like from point A to point B, I'd probably be more bored than if it was like all these flashbacks and stuff like that. Like the universe of cinema has really allowed us to like really be better expensive or not expensive but expansive storytellers now.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like capable of holding multiple threads and like yeah, different places and times. I think movies have done a lot for that.
Right, and I think this was our first real attempt of making every storyline cohesive, and I think we did a pretty goddamn good job of making sure that every storyline makes sense up till the end. And so I'm really proud of that for us, is that, you know, having these complex characters that, you know, Sakatori's only in it briefly in the first part of it. Franco's not in here. Then you'll learn more about the backstory, you know. So it was a really fun challenge that we were able to do for this film.
Yeah, it was kind of scary sometimes, dude, because we would like we painted ourselves into corners, you know, like we had characters say and do things that we had to sort of figure out later what they meant, you know, and we tied ourselves to, well, again, it was like a limitations thing, and it was good that way because we could really connect them, like you're saying, you know, how I think we should be proud of that because we were able to fold each movie on top of itself, you know, and have it make sense. And that's why they work so well in succession like this. I mean, they're broken into chapters, which I think is good, but they just like flow perfectly because like every Easter egg is like the next step, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we did a really great job of building an anthology series, if you will. You know, just from everything. And again, I think that the challenge of like guerrilla filmmaking or low budget filmmaking is always running with the ideas and just completing a project. Like I tell the people that I produce with lately that, you know, anybody can have an idea, anybody can write, but like actually sitting down, no matter if it takes a week, 6 months, or in this case with Sector 6, 4 years in the making, you have to finish the project, you know? So it was really cool to tie everything together here in a cohesive anthology.
Yeah, it's so satisfying, right? Like we could see all the stories resolve, and I imagine it's something like a, you know, Breaking Bad must experience where they built this world and then they like finished the story, and that's such a good feeling when because you got to crack the story, you know. We had to like really figure these out. They were tough. Remember that I had like at one point like a car exploding in one?
Yeah.
How the hell am I gonna do this, Robert? I had some sort of like miniature plan, I think.
Yeah, we had a miniature one, and it would be like I don't know if it was a stop motion, but I think the idea was to take like like one of those box cars or Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels, there you go. I'm too old now.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
And
Hot
we'd
Wheels.
make it like explodes somehow. I don't know, but that was an idea thrown up. But I think you always have to go big with ideas like this, and then reality sets in, and then we can craft the vision from that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Oh, man. Just
I
wait,
like this song that
Sakatori.
comes up here.
Yeah, dude, you did a brilliant job with the scoring on this one. Because the
Thank
first
you.
one you used, what is it, public domain for a little bit?
Yeah, this was like a real mix. There's like
Yeah.
this is an original piece right here, and then there is some public domain classical music. I think kind of sets some scary tones.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I try to watch out for that domain because it can really trip you up.
Yeah.
Even though I'm putting Bill's radio broadcast in.
That's right.
I guess so.
Command,
Oh,
I am
man.
connecting
Here you
with my
go.
CI now, initiating
Yeah,
upload.
Chelsea.
Should be live
Mhm.
in about 5.
Remember we had her storyline in the next one too, like.
Right.
This whole series, guys, goes deep.
We really did. We had her in that story for a long time. Do you remember the writing of Franco 2? Because
FBI appreciates your
my memory of that whole thing is that I kept destroying the plot. I'd be like going in a direction, and then I'd call you one day and I'd be like, Robert, I'm really sorry, but everything I told you needs to go into the trash, and I have to start over. Is that how it was?
That was how it was, man. Yeah.
watch the
And every time you called me, you like, because I'd be like, "Yo, dude, did you check out the script?" And blah blah. And you're like, "Dude, I love it. However, you gotta trust me on this." And like, if I had any like questions or suggestions, I was like, "Oh, okay, Brandon, but like, what about these things?"
Yeah. No, you're great at the but what about, because I'd always be like flying away and you'd be like, but what about?
Right?
Yeah.
How are we gonna produce this in a short amount of time? Are you sure you want a car exploding, right? But I really like that we went with the final ideas too.
That car has been out
Um,
there idly
especially with
for
this,
2
like
hours.
SVU.
Your show's about to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Jacob,
And there's a stakeout
booby.
situation, and that right there is exactly what they were doing.
I can't find the remote.
Just the doting husband.
I'm not gonna be able to pause it.
I think we got ourselves a
I'm too lazy to reach the remote.
Okay.
Here you go, Sakatori. Yeah, man. This right here, the trip sequences, is just like, what a world we were
That I
able to
remember
create.
talking about with you a lot, I think this was an early idea, where we were like, we want to trip them out, right?
Yep.
And we kind of like started to dream about how to do that visually, and yeah, there's a lot of fading that goes on.
Yep. Because
There's like some time speeding up.
yeah, and so like I like our Charles Dickens themes coming up with Sakatori, because we can't get away from like a Christmas series without like doing any kind of tropes that have been used before. But I really like this because like for me and you, I think both of us, we went into some maybe dark subconscious places for Sakatori's backstory, because I feel like from now until probably 8 minutes from now, I think there's a nice collaboration of the format we want to see, and then we fed in these different like horrible, sad, holiday stories that were either true or not.
Yeah. Scrooge was definitely like a reference point for some of it, but it was like Scrooge. You would see this like really rough exterior sort of lighten over the course of the story, but this one you get a sense for Sakatori's pain. His pain runs so deep, like everything that he relives here with his dad.
Yeah.
It makes you feel for why he like. Yeah, there's a couple weird twists. He loves Christmas, but he kind of hates people.
Yeah. Right.
And now you see why. And I think Christmas movies have to deal with certain elements, and like the Grinch's heart. Oh god, there's a great fade here. Yeah, it kind of goes from his eyeball into his face.
Dude, Derek is so crazy in this. Like, nice direction on this, because like this is so trippy. This is one of your best trip scenes ever.
Oh, thanks, dude. It's really just you like shoot and hope you got stuff. This was fun, Steve's part here.
Yeah.
This mask, that he's wearing in the Delusion, has been in a ton of movies too. That mask right there.
It's me, Harry.
Me, Harry.
All right.
And Harry was gonna be in the third one too.
Third one, yeah, we were gonna do like
Harry
those,
and Larry.
Harry and Larry are gonna be sloppy like bank robbers. Remember that? Where they were gonna be like the comic relief, like
Yeah.
sticky bandits.
Oh man.
Yeah, they were gonna be like the
Dude,
main focal of it, where everything comes together.
You have a happy holidays.
what's that?
I said I think that was gonna be like a main focal point. Harry and Larry,
It was
so the
gonna be
drivers
huge.
of
Yeah,
Sakatory
dude.
were
It was
gonna be the
supposed to
main
be.
thing.
You know what the thing is? We already did it with Otto and Buchanan.
Yep.
I think we had just done that, and we had to realize, like, okay, we can kind of break it
Yep.
off and do something else.
The henchman. You always have to have a story with the henchman.
Oh, the smoke machine. I bought the smoke machine for this movie.
That's so good.
It turned out so nice.
Yeah, Greg's character, man, that guy Greg, he played a really good role.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, sorry. Why did I say Greg? Yeah, Jeff.
Greetings, Theodore.
Jeff is such an incredible actor. He is a force on the screen.
Occupying the inner ring.
And Jazz
Jazz is awesome.
as Marmac.
Marmac.
I remember them like reading the lines and being like, "Is this what? What am I? I don't even know what they are."
This is one of
really.
your fever dreams, you know.
Understand the
Yeah.
details. But you don't have to.
Guardian Angel.
You simply
Yep.
need to understand how you got here.
Hey, you did a really good job with the actors too, going through all these scenes, using the same actors, and making it a nice image for the story of Sakatori. Oh yeah, I remember that. We had to push the.
Yeah,
Better.
with the chair, pulling it with like a
Yeah.
leash or something.
Alright.
Um, yeah, man. Well, that was also part of your job on this one and the next one was prepping the actors and
Don't think.
like, because I would
Just follow.
so often be involved in like the setup that I wasn't able to talk to the actors, and that was something that as like an AD you were able to step in and kind of prep them for their roles, and I felt like that really made the performances a lot stronger and added like cohesion to the whole thing after.
Yeah, especially with actors you don't normally work with. My strategy is just like talk to them as humans and see what they like, and then be like, all right, cool. We'll put that what you just said into the storyline, and here's what we're going for. Have fun, relax. We'll just laugh if you mess up, like. So for my job as that kind of role is just to get to know the people, but also just remind them, hey, let's just have fun. Let's just have a good time.
Yeah, because the more they can be themselves as the character, the better the performance is. Like they can really embody it.
Exactly. That's why I think me and you are inspired by like Phil Jackson's mantra. Like, I don't care what you do outside of the gym, but when you come to the gym, Dennis Rodman, you're gonna fucking play and win championships, right? So I just had to throw that out there.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I've seen The Last Dance like 15 times. I feel like it's one of the greatest documentaries ever made.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just so powerful.
Yeah.
And the way that he's always taking offense to things and learning to drive them.
I know, right?
Oh, I love this sequence right here. This is a favorite part of this film for me.
Yep.
I don't think you do.
Like Jeff does a really good job.
Yeah, he's like so tortured having to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Derek's like looking very confused.
Cancer. Throat, lymph nodes.
And
If I don't start
and the cool thing is we filmed this at the parking garage of Roswell Park, and so like
That's right.
yeah, so Franco's at the top of this
Okay.
in the first chapter, and then we go back to this, and I think that's what we had the time to do is really look at the scenes and be like, cool, let's just go back here because it's part of this whole realm and try to connect the storylines in the different settings.
Yeah, man, I forgot that we filmed that in the same place.
misjudgments.
And yeah,
Do you think I owe you something?
that's good thinking on our part.
Yeah.
That's giving it time to cook,
Mm-hmm. And then in the Blackstones, Jordan's running through the medical center, which is right down the street from this too. So like we did a pretty good
That's
job of
right.
having a lot of these scenes in all three phases of the Sector 6.
You're the only person I can turn to here.
And then it's unresolved. I like not showing him say yes, because like it almost feels like a private moment. It's too humiliating for Sakatori to be seen.
Yeah.
And then I think that there's like a little ledger right here that I don't know if you can actually pause the movie and see what it says on it, but it's like all of his expenses. It's just a sad world for Sakatori.
Yeah.
Teddy, can you please let the dog in?
Doesn't have any time for the baby, right?
That's right. And this is another one of those scenes where it's like kind of pushing the audience with the sound of the barking and the sound of the baby and the sound of the like the yelling. It's just like all of pushing all those human buttons where you're like, ooh, I'm uncomfortable.
It is very uncomfortable, especially when the wife comes in and just yells at him. That just adds 3 layers. And so, like for me, every time I watch this scene, it's very uncomfortable, like listening to it, which is good.
Yeah,
That's what we wanted.
yeah, yeah. He's at a breaking point. That's from Franco. That little shot right there, from when he fell asleep. A little flash of it. This is great.
Do you care if I leave the lights?
It's the way we staged this so that everybody is, they're like playing themselves and
He died last year.
Jazz is like standing in.
I know. Just a reflex, I guess.
Listen, I have to go after this, so whatever you're dreaming up for me to do next, it's gonna have to wait.
My daughter, always with some place to go. You don't have time to help your father?
Oh, and now the twist is here. Father Sakatori, what? What's going on?
Yeah, now you know who you're seeing. You're seeing the grown-up Kalila.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was like one of the last things we filmed, I think, because I emptied out the entire set
Yep.
to do that shot. That was filmed in reverse, and that was based on the film Orpheus. Ever seen that?
No.
It's a nice little cinema trick where they like had people like fall down and then they'd rewind the film.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So
No,
it looked demonic.
Oh, nice. These shots are really cool. I always think that like Derek's thoughts are going out of his head with the smoke machine.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this whole sequence right here is like very dark and kind of like hidden, you know, like I feel like there's a lot of he's obscured by the smoke, you know, and he's barely in focus. And I like the way it plays out visually. It's just like with the tension of what he's admitting right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally made a life, you ruined it.
And I like how it's like him right there too with his dad. Like it's definitely mirroring him, and they're out, like their souls are kind of like together, you know.
Yeah, dude, yeah. They're like both in the ether right now having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I've accomplished a lot, and I've screwed up a lot.
And I like Derek split in half because it's like he's like starting to change into this different person.
Yeah. Dude, this is creepy when you get to see his face and then the daughter's there. Like,
Oh man. And when he laughs.
yep.
There it is. No.
That smile.
Jeff. Oh, so creepy. Oh man, it's the stuff of nightmares, really.
It really is.
Like this big scary man like takes you away down the hallway into the darkness. Ah!
Mm-hmm. And it's so cool because the actor Jeff is that tall. In
Yeah,
real
he
life.
seriously is. He's a looming presence.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, I like how you like put them back together with that effect.
Yeah, and the shades are open a little bit, and we got some nice bright light coming in.
Look at that. He cleaned up his whole life. There goes the alcohol.
My sink was a little clogged. I see. It made for good movie making.
Yeah, you're
Puts the gun away. Yeah, he's a changed man. He says hello to Joni.
Jody,
Oh,
the
what
unsung
a good
hero.
guy. Here's one of my finest musical moments right here. I wrote the song for the inside of this music box, and I think it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, it is. Did you use mallets?
Yeah, well, I used like a MIDI that emulated like glockenspiels, I think. Yeah, see, he feels compelled to go talk to them, and
Yep.
normally he just would avoid
Dude,
them.
this scene with Derek, he just went off the rail on this one. I still don't know what the hell
Yeah,
he's doing.
Merry Christmas.
we quote this all the time.
Yep.
The big man.
The big man.
You on your way to church? That's great. That's great. Well, tell the big man that I wish him a happy birthday, all right?
Happy birthday.
He does this wavy thing with the beard, I
Yeah.
think.
The big man.
Oh, at the
Yeah,
top.
the big man.
Beard and a wavy thing.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Just watch yourself on the ice. I think it's slippery today. Okay? Take care, folks.
Such a dork.
I,
He's such a drug dealer dork.
he,
With the fresh. That was a good
Yeah.
cut too. And this is the last shot that you filmed for this short too, right? Because I wasn't here for the
Yeah.
end. I had to go back.
so Kalila, which is actually the name of that child, and or no wait, no, that's Tinashe and Mari, and those two actors were only available towards the end, so we filmed everything they did at the end. And I think that scene at my mom's house in the living room there, I think that was the last thing. I think you're right, because yeah, the FBI agent comes. Yeah, pretty sure that was the end.
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, I love how Sakatori drivers have the uniforms they have to wear. You have to have a flannel or plaid and a hat.
Yeah, dude, the look is definitely built into this movie where they all have like plaid and a hat, like a beanie. And I love how at the end of the third one, Jazz shows up wearing that outfit. You know.
Yeah. Just implying, you know.
Well, also the change up of ownership when Kalima owns the company at that point. It's cool. I like this part. I feel like this was. I'm proud of the script writing here, kind of condensing this idea he has about his family into like, I'm going to be better.
Thank you for the advice. You're welcome, Larry. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
Oh, Larry.
I remember I was like laying on the ground of the passenger seat to get that shot. It was really tough. Oh, present.
Yeah, this is a very nice.
This is that public domain thing, that music too.
Yeah.
And this scene is beautiful, yeah.
As he's
Slow
walking
motion.
to see his daughter, it changed, man. Lo behold.
Derek, his face is great. He just does like all the right little movements. And the way, I don't remember exactly how we did this, but the child was like prompted to look out the window and like, I don't know how we did that. I think I stood outside. Oh yeah, we got great shots of her like looking excited by looking out the window.
This was good coordination by all three drivers too.
Oh dude, that was perfectly done. My dad's big moment coming up here.
Great work, Agent Hooper. I smell a promotion. All right, I gotta run. We'll do lunch soon.
We'll do lunch soon. John Schlia for you right there.
I smell a promotion. He was like, "Put me in one of your movies." I was like, "Really? You want to be in one?" He's great.
Yeah. Oh man, you remember we had this whole storyline with the FBI agent too? That's where it kind of like ends off right here.
Yeah, man. It was gonna pick up. Like, we just couldn't figure it out. I can't remember like.
We went through
if
so
we
many
even got
scenarios
anything figured out at all.
of the FBI agent and the script for Blackstones because that got worked on a year too. It just didn't fit what we wanted to do with the storytelling for that.
Yeah, because I think we started to rein in the story and put it in like small locations again. I think it was sprawling for a while, thus the car explosion, and then finally we were like, wait a minute, if we just narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it going? Boys, if you're watching this, I'm dead.
All right, here we go. Starting off the film that way.
Let me get to the point. You're in danger.
Yeah.
The agreement with the Bogdanovich family has worn thin.
These shots are so good.
No doubt they'll try to take
Oh,
advantage
thank you.
of
I'm really happy
your
with
name off the face
the
of the earth.
the arc of this one in particular.
If it happens,
Builds so well to that final moment. You know, I love seeing Gator now and not really understanding who he is. It's another one of those moments where you're just like
so that's
sort of baffling the audience and then picking it up later.
so long.
Mm-hmm.
Is it off? Damn it, Rodney!
This shot's great too because
Yep.
it's a mirror of that Franco shot
Yep.
that we did. That was the final shot we did on Franco. Remember, we were driving down Sheridan Drive?
Yep. Yeah, man.
And we took that picture outside of like a aquarium or what was it, a pet store?
I think it was a pet store. Yeah, I still got those photos. I can probably like upload them tomorrow and show you them. Yeah. Nah, I love these driving scenes. Like again, Buffalo's just a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really ties it all together because it is about a taxi driver.
Yeah, he's known for that.
Like Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, oh man, this was great too.
What are you saying? Is this what Dad wanted?
Dude, remember the thing that my mom built for us to do this scene?
Yeah.
And and I left it at Jordan's house. I think it's still there.
Nice.
He's like,
Jordan
"You
got
want
a
this
free
thing?"
prop. What would Jordan have in there now? One can only imagine.
Alright. Well, I'm going out the back door.
Alright, bye.
Yeah, I love Kate as the lawyer.
Yep.
And their house is beautiful, man. It looks so nice in there. It's a great backdrop.
Oh yeah. So disappointed. So disappointed.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna go fuck you over.
Yep. And look at this.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear you're looking for Mortimer. Here's a list of
Mortimer.
possible locations he could be, but if
This
I were you,
little
I'd just try to
printout
figure
I
out
made
his
is
phone.
fun.
And actually, I just heard him go
The
through
little
back
printout
office.
of their
You might
two
wanna try to
faces
check
and
out
where the places they might be.
Jerk off. Oh.
Yeah.
It was a
here's that
slippery
scene we
night.
were
It was a
talking about.
slippery night, and we made Jordan run.
Yeah, and look at him like shuffling. He's like, there we go, some dry land.
Yep. Oh man,
These shots are like all in one parking lot.
Yep. By the
This is
beer
great though,
works.
cutting back and forth between them. It feels like you feel the tension.
Mm-hmm. You know, this film always reminded me of what you said, like during our days when we were doing the Murphy films, because you said like we just act like we know what we're doing and no one's gonna approach us, and most of the time no one approaches us.
Dude, yeah, it's weird that works, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess people is like confident. Dude, this old train yard is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, and we filmed that one grain thing that got destroyed in the that building behind Jordan, the grain thing that got destroyed.
Got knocked down. Or the one across the street.
Yeah.
Those ones are still up right there. Yeah, another very Buffalo thing to have in there. I love this part. Huh?
I remember we had some cigarettes that we were all gonna smoke, and they fell out of Jordan's pocket
Robert.
right here, and we found
Oh,
3 out of
man.
4, and I couldn't believe we found 3 out of 4 cigarettes on the floor.
Dude, Jordan was so mad.
Yep.
Remember? He was so mad that they disappeared, and then magically they returned.
Yeah. Dude, this is a good shot, dude. Look at that.
He was also mad that I made him lay down on the track for the heart attack.
No one.
But it looks so good.
It looks so great. There's no trains coming.
Red alert code 16. You have trespassed on private property. The authorities have been notified and you're currently en route.
Yeah, I love that. When he comes back to life.
nice cut.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the first things I thought of with the connection between them. I wanted him to almost die and then for Ian to wake up. Just felt like a good way to thread it.
Yeah. Nice.
Babe? Oh, shit!
This was a hard scene to figure out, remember?
Yeah.
We're like, when do we spray her so that we can have continuity
Yeah, we had one
and
shot.
not fuck up her makeup? And that was tough.
Yeah.
It worked out really well.
Hey, you scared me. I was like, you know?
I love the pills in the background.
Yeah, so this line works nice. Like when she talks about the uppers and downers.
Yep. And I like that our connection to Christmas is the Christmas lights. And oh my God, this one! You remember how many takes we had
Oh,
them
man.
do? Well, it turned
out great.
Yeah.
But it was like we just kept having to do it over and over. They would just like let up right at the last minute, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's hard to be physical with someone you don't know, even if you're just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually gets cut down a little bit because like there was some like punching and shoving and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it just never looked right.
Oh man, that was so good.
Yeah. Dude, I was so scared that we were gonna get in trouble.
I know, but dude, there's multiple times where I feel like one of the workers at the hotel came out and looked at us and just walked away. I feel like that was happened twice.
During that scene he did,
Yeah.
when she threw the bag out, and I'm just like standing there with the tripod and the camera on it, and he's just like, how you doing? It was weird. He just went along.
Probably the best
And then
action those guys got in a
later
while.
John's like
Yeah.
jumping on the bed
I know.
and like breaks the bed, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, because we got two hotel rooms. We had a green room, and then we had this room.
Right.
Yeah. And it was really fun when we got all the actors into the room as well.
That was so essential to making this work. Like having everybody sort of like posted up in there and just jumping in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you kept things flowing over there. I wasn't over there very much, but I know you were kind of like making things work.
Yeah, we had some nice libations. We had pizza, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we just usually when a new person came in, we had a different topic that we would talk about, and they would just join the conversation. So it's pretty cool.
Saw the tape, Morty. You know what's gonna happen? This is exactly what Dad said.
The old man called somebody in on this? Who's handling it? Gator? You can't call him Gator because he's,
Think again.
Oh, man.
Your movement with the gimbal right there is great too with Jordy because he's so crazy, but Ian's so like calm.
Yeah. I always wondered about that scene if I should have like shown them both in the frame, because really I'm having them like react to the camera more. And I'm glad you said that though. I do like it. Looking at it now.
It's Veronica, man. Veronica Newberry.
Veronica Newberry. Damn, that's a good name.
Yeah, movie name.
Reggie, would you just settle down?
Yeah.
I've got this all figured out.
Talk about a time when I just could not dream in the space. Like, do you remember I had no idea what these rooms were going to look like.
That's right, yeah.
And so to try and storyboard for the shots was like really difficult. And then I got there like 3 hours early or something,
Yeah.
I think, and tried to figure things out. It was tough.
Yeah.
And it was like so thrilling, dude. Like I will never forget wrapping this movie, this part of the movie, and walking outside down the street, looking up at the electrical tower. Remember, like, on that side of town? We're like in the heart of downtown.
Oh, dude, it was magical. It was downtown. I think it was like snowing a little bit, but it was very quiet too, and we had to walk and.
So quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty late. It was like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it was 2 a.m. and I had to drive back to Batavia. So, but it was
Right.
worth it like always. Worth it like always.
Dude, it was such a moment out there, just feeling like we were on top of the world, like we had accomplished this huge thing,
Yeah, because that was a challenge for our production too. We never had a scene where we had all those actors that we had to direct, and then there was a lot of downtime. So again, it's about keeping people just entertained when we ask them for X amount of hours of their day.
Yeah, dude, that is so huge when it comes to making movies, is you gotta keep people up right? And like you've got to find a way to make it easy on them because there's so much waiting around for actors.
Yeah.
You know, they're just waiting around, waiting around, and I'm like, let me figure this out. You know, so it's definitely key to make the setups quick and easy. Oh, I love this shot.
This
This is
shot's
one of my
great.
favorites right here.
I think that's what you're talking about, the difference between the iPhone,
Yeah,
between Franco
dude.
and
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
Like this is beautifully made, very well put together, very well shot. And as you can see from Franco, we have a few old faces.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And a few new ones too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wrote Christmas Eve Snow Day.
There you go, Christmas Eve Snow Day. But I think for me, what I love about the filmmaking process is when you haven't reviewed the film yet, but kind of like the night after we wrap this up, and you have that feeling of like you're on top of the world, like you just know in your heart you got all the shots you needed. So for me, that's always like the biggest high. Like if I walk
Dude,
out of a
yeah.
set and be like, "Fuck yeah, we just made something really, really awesome."
Yeah, man. I know exactly what you mean. When it's all just in the camera, it's like waiting for you to look at it. That's the best feeling.
Mm-hmm.
These party scenes worked out really well. I remember it being tough with the actors where like they had to sort of have side conversations, but it couldn't be louder than the main conversation. So they're like trying to figure out how to have the right volume. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's some times where I was like, guys, you gotta stop talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like control the classroom in a way, but yeah. But they all did a good job, like they all did their part, and the audio came out really nice.
Yeah, it really turned out. I love that there's almost always like a person in the background. Like you got Chet back there, and you can't see Cam, but Cam's back there.
Yeah, I think
it's just like we filled the space nicely. I thought.
I think so too, and plus having other people in the background really makes like you as the audience member just be in the world a little bit more, because like now you're like, oh, I'm at this party. There's layers. I think that's the one thing we've learned too, is layering the sets with people as well.
Yeah, because that depth in the frame is really helpful to like attract your eye, to give yourself a sense of space.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. He's about to make the call.
Yep. Change man.
I like that he takes the money in with him only to put it right back. He knows everything. There's the big guy right there. R.I.P. Grandpa.
The legend himself.
Incredible. So willing. And the camera loves him.
Yep. You gotta love grandparents and parents that support their kids' vision like our parents do. Like, that is such a blessing.
Right.
Hello, Mr. Bogdanovich. Yeah, it's Reginald.
I know who this is. Why are you calling me?
Look, I just want to settle my little debt, okay?
Oh, really?
Sir, look, if I settle the debt, will you call off the head?
I might.
Mr. Bogdanovich, I need your word on this.
Then you've got it, son.
Well, where do you want to handle the drop?
I'll meet you at the Lennox.
I remember thinking, okay, where are they going to do the drop? And then I was like, I gotta put it at the hotel, because to get another location involved and have another day and different actors have to meet me there, it just seemed like easier to do it in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want the cereal.
So
that's one of the best lines. I don't want the cereal.
Yeah, I don't want the cereal.
No, I think it's fine. Plus, like, I think in our world, like, those two boys, like, party house would be in the safe house that the other family was have, Like, I think with these two bozos, that it makes sense that they would have a party at the place where everybody wants them dead. Like, they're too full in themselves because, the last appearance in Franco, they're like, Jordan's like, I don't fucking give a shit about these poor people, So, like,
yeah,
they're a real mess. Like, he didn't even care about his kids, right? Like,
no, they're kind of very self-absorbed individuals, and they spend most of this movie being that way.
Yeah,
it's like it's right at the end where they reconsider.
But maybe the moral of the story is sometimes it's too late to reconsider, right? Too late to change.
Yeah, dude, I think for them, that's what it came down to. they'd fucked up enough. For Franco though,
Yeah.
he gets his shot. He gets his shot, but then he goes too far. You know, he becomes the dark side.
He becomes the dark side, you know. Sometimes that happens though, when you bottle up that
Right.
emotion.
So there's no happy endings, are there? Or no, for Sakatori.
Yeah, the main
I
character,
guess
Sakatori.
at the very, very end when he, gets out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, even like these shots, like.
Oh, dude, I got in trouble there. Actually.
Oh, you did? Okay.
With that shot, yeah, the railroad police. They like put their lights on and came and kind of like we were already driving away, but they sort of like chased us out.
Oh, really? Shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
How'd you get away? You just like drove away or what?
We just kept going and they stopped because they weren't like a cop or anything. They went up to the bridge and then turned back around.
Oh, okay. So they were just trying to like shoo you away.
They shooed me.
Well, hey, that's part of guerrilla filmmaking, you know. Gotta ask for forgiveness sometime. These two are really well together. They worked really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're both just natural actors. You know, Maggie is such a great actor, and Ian is too. And so they just fit.
Yep. Oh man.
It's so hard to not know a person and then act like you love them. That's like not easy.
That is true. Oh my God, Danny. God.
Oh, Danny. Here
Mikowski.
we go. He's the perfect punk.
Yep.
And you know what? He was so last minute. Like I don't think. Didn't we just ask him at the last minute?
I think
like,
it was
"Yo,
the
did you
last
do
minute.
this?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. You know, I almost punched Danny real. I think it was like a half an inch away from his face. He said when I fake punch him coming up.
You came so close, dude. I thought you actually punched him.
I would have felt bad if I fucking did. 'Cause I've never hit somebody before, so
Yeah.
I would have.
So you had to film like 2 more times.
Yeah.
This part right here.
Turkey sandwich, no cheese. Get that shit out.
You launched that shit.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Yep. Yeah, like I almost punched. So good job that I did not do that.
Wow.
I remember we were debating what was going to be the exterior, but I think the Lennox was a really good choice for the hotel. Oh man, here we go.
Party time.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is when it got really fun. I just letting them all
This part right here. John broke the bed, I think. At this part, I ended up accidentally leaving reverb on the voices because I wanted it to be on the clap that he does.
Like that?
Yeah. But I was like, afterwards, I was like, no, it kind of feels right to have it on there, so I just kept it dreaming.
Hey, again, it's a Christmas film. We can do whatever we want in this world.
That's right.
Because is it a dream or not? I don't know.
Oh, I love the way that they block here. Like, every actor is pretty much visible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good.
And I love how they had a send-off of, like, you just got away with death. Like, only these two bums would have a party and them celebrating them escaping death. Like, so beautiful.
Oh, when they come back? Yeah.
Well. It isn't the Blackstone boys.
Sir, I just want to tell you that this will never
And then that was the green room right there.
Yep.
That was the other room.
That was the green room.
That we had. Yeah.
Yeah, we cleaned up pretty well for having, like, what, 15, 16 people?
Right? Oh, man. And didn't, like, the whiteboard, which was in my basement, have some, like, mold on it, and it, like, got on the bed, and you were, like, scrubbing it away?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. It wasn't ink or the marker. It was just something weird, like mold.
Oh, maybe.
It got on the bed. I'm like, fudge. I don't want this. I need to clean it. I don't want to pay for this. But it turned out good. I mean, it's a hotel. I mean, there's people that do worse things in the hotels than what we did.
Oh, way worse. Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah.
What I say?
Thank you. Thank you. Now, have a good night.
Get out of here.
Oh, too much of that Coke.
Yeah, dude. Slow down.
Yep. It's such a good shot.
Yeah, I love how relieved they are here.
Mhm. Like each set in each chapter, we've done a really good job of finding the different settings to really tell the story. Because, like, you know, obviously this is guerrilla styling in a hotel, but like, damn, like it was a well put together like scenes. And if you only had like 3 hours to do all the shot blocking, Brandon, good kudos to you for what we were able to accomplish during this filming.
Dude, I really feel that you've mentioned a couple times that Buffalo is such an important part of the story. Buffalo is like an actor in our story,
Yeah.
you know? And the spaces that we chose became like a character in the story too, and each one of them is like lending a vibe, you know? And it was weird with this hotel, especially because this was a last minute thing too. I intended to go somewhere completely different, and just had to pick this one, I think, because of price, because of connecting rooms and all this, and it ended up being perfect, you know. And so I think just exactly you're right about how we made the right choices, and it made for a good final product, you know.
Yeah, because
Locations are so important.
yeah, location scouting is one thing that I've learned over the years of what is very important, because then you can imagine the characters, and the earlier you do it, the better it can marinate in your brain and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, with these two characters ending up in a hotel like this is better than like being in like some scummy motel.
Right, because we realized, oh, they're rich,
yeah.
you know, so they probably wouldn't go to a Motel 6.
Exactly.
They'd go to, like, some classy
Yeah, something that is never in our minds. Like, cool, we're going to go to, like, this Four Seasons hotel. Oh, no, we're going to go to this motel. Oh, man.
Hey guys, I said the party's over.
I like the theme at this point in the film. This music part seems to go nice. It's just, like, so bittersweet. You're like, I thought you kind of want to celebrate with them making it out, but nope. Oh, dude, remember there's this whole thing where he was supposed to be alive still?
Yeah.
Or, like, he was supposed to kind of come back to life a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna have him.
And I couldn't do it though. I couldn't figure out how to like shoot it.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be like you were gonna drag Jordan in the woods. I think it was, and he was gonna like have his eyes open and closed, and we're gonna do some effects. I think that was in the one of the original things, and then we had to cut it just because, you know, it gets cold in Buffalo. Like, we can't ask a lot of people to like.
You're damn right.
You know,
we were out there filming the burial scene that comes up right after this. And I think I saw that on the list, and I was like, let's forget it.
Oh, dude, it was this night. It was really bad driving out, and I remember going back to your place.
It was so cold and so snowy.
Yeah, I remember going back to your place. I was like, oh my god, dude! Like, I know that I live in Arizona now, but like, I'm not this bad in the ice. And then I stopped kitty corner your house, and then somebody slid into the car right in front of your house. I think it was this night. Yeah.
Shit! I think I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I saw. As you were leaving, that happened, right?
Yeah, as I was gonna get back to my car. But yeah, man, you know, this scene too, the burial scene. You did a good job of like getting the fake bodies. Like, you know, we're not gonna show
the fake
gore.
bodies. They're like a teddy bear with like towels taped on to its limbs. I think that's what's in those bags. It took me a long time to figure out how to like recreate a human body in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. The epilogue. Dude, I love these shots, by the way. Like, everything about this Japanese garden that you filmed in this night.
Yeah.
Particularly these
that
scenes.
Spot's so nice.
One of your best in my eyes, you know. Like, it's so dark, and like, I forgot about this one with the last attack and the full moon. Like, we get lucky a lot of times when we're filming.
I know. And Soklinski, he wasn't even supposed to be in this. Brian right here. It was supposed to be somebody else, I think.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be.
And we picked him up last minute, too.
Yeah, I forget who it was supposed to be, but this guy turned out really well.
Yeah, he's great.
Cat got your tongue? Is that
Cat got your tongue.
All right, you know what? How about this, baby? You like this, huh? I just want whatever's in that freaking bag right over there.
All first sandwich, man.
Remember I taught you how to disarm a knife?
Yeah.
That shot?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, that looked really good, too. It looked like you weren't that close to connecting with him, though, right?
No, I learned from Danny, because we filmed this, I think, the next night. Or maybe he came later that night. I think it was later that night he came.
Yeah.
But I think
Right, Danny left and he showed
yeah,
up.
and I think just in my personal life back then, I really channeled the anger in Franco this time around because of just life stuff. So I really wanted to do Franco justice, but I was also just very angry at my life at that time. So it was really good to, transfer that to Franco.
That's why I'm
Yeah. Let it out.
Postscript.
Yeah, an epilogue and a
Hey, you want to
postscript.
what? We deserve it. 4 years, Brandon. Same
We deserve it.
locations.
We had to get Sakatori out of jail because it was just so wrong. The poor guy.
I know.
Taking the fall.
And again, we go back to the state penitentiary right here. Sakatori car.
Yeah, the pickup spot.
Yeah, like some things never change, and I think that's kudos to us and what you just said about Buffalo being the character. Oh, look at that! Like you.
God, those magnetic things really paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Jazz wearing the uniform.
Yep.
Dude, this was really treacherous, actually. Like, it looks really hard for him to do this, and it was.
Was it just ice?
It was pure ice, yeah.
I hate
He
that.
almost wiped out a couple times.
Oh, man. Mm.
Where to? 157 Bushel Ave.
Bushel, bushel.
I know. I can't believe you created that. Bushel. That is like a tongue
That
twister.
was actually a Derek creation. I was like,
Alright.
where do you live? And then he just made that up. The end.
The end, Brandon. We did it. So, like, how do you feel now? Like I said, this was a major project for both of us to endure.
Yeah, man. I feel very accomplished. I feel the thing that I have the most pride about, honestly, is looking at the length, the duration of this is an hour and 22 minutes and something seconds. And it's exactly what we set out to do, which was to make a feature-length film in 3 installments.
Yep.
Because being independent filmmakers and guerrilla filmmakers, it's like so hard to produce more than a half hour of material in like Christmas break,
Yeah.
And so by setting a grand plan in motion, I guess seriously, a grand plan, Robert, years in the making. Like there are so few people that I think will take on a creative endeavor that will take years, but when you do it, I think the end result is so much stronger because you've really thought every little piece of it through,
Yeah.
How do you feel? What do you think?
After watching that, because I think this is the second time that we watched it together, I want to echo a lot. Like, I just feel really accomplished. Like, again, my mantra is you got to finish what you started. And I think for me is kind of the message of Christmas. Like, I always believed in Christmas, then it got taken away from me. And so I was kind of bitter at Christmas. But that's like the metaphor is like, you just got to be patient enough. And so, like, I'm really so happy that we took the time because the lessons I learned as a filmmaker doing this is it's okay to take your time to make what you want to make. And again, like if we lived closer together, we would probably collaborate and have a better schedule. But like when people hopefully look back on this art that we made and understand that we made it over a 4-year span with the pandemic involved that derailed a lot of the ideas, but was good in the end. And that we only had like 3 days from like December 18th to like December 27th. Sometimes it was like December 21st to the 26th that we filmed, and we did it. So I think we were crazy.
Yeah, dude, the shooting windows were really tight, especially not only for us, but for the actors. Trying to get them, like, can I get like an hour of your time, like,
In the holidays.
It's just really amazing that it all exists. I can't believe it all got finished because, yeah, trying to do this at any point in the year would be difficult, but doing it at Christmas, that's just like near impossible.
Yeah, and so thank you to our friends and family for supporting this crazy
Seriously.
idea. I know,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I love my mom, but you know how many times at Christmas time she just like really like did not like that I was going to Buffalo. Okay, so
I know, and totally reasonable. I mean, moms want to see their sons at Christmas. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I feel responsible for kidnapping you away into my weird little mad universe.
Hell no, dude. I love your
But
little weird
yeah,
little
I
universe.
think it all worked out, and hopefully, I don't know. Has she seen the film?
I no, because no, actually no. I showed it to them last year, and they really liked it. My dad really liked it too. So I got some really good compliments from my parents. I forgot. Yeah, last
Okay,
year's
cool.
Christmas was a fucking bomb cyclone, so that's why I don't really
Oh,
remember it.
yeah.
But yeah, I showed them it last Christmas, and they really enjoyed it.
That's good. Okay, so at least she knows that we weren't just fucking off. We were up to something good.
Yeah.
And now we're done for now. But I don't know. Are we done forever?
I don't think we're done forever. Like, I feel like this project has shown us that we can continue storylines, and so I'm hoping that at a point in the future we get to come back to the worlds that we have created together. Because the one thing that I think between all of our storylines is very character heavy. We take the time to do the backstories, and this film in particularly has shown us that we can make a hour and 30-ish minute film and make it make sense. And again, if we're always leveling up, I can't wait to create something else in the future with you too, because we have the universe, because I think we talked about this a little bit. Like, I feel like Murphy and Otto Buchanan and this could be all in the same universe in a way, because it's just a little bit off. And so I'm open.
Yeah.
What about you, Brandon?
Dude, I think definitely we need to get the band back together. It's just a question of where we are in our lives, and like what the capacity is for. And we talked a little bit about someday me coming out there and filming with you, and like that there's a little bit of a story idea there that I think we talked about a little bit. But it'd be cool to come make a film with you in
Hell
Arizona.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, films are so hard to make, and that's why I really appreciate our partnership, because we have each other to rely on. And when we're doing our own separate things off in our own worlds, um, yeah, just honestly, like, sometimes the support isn't there from the partnerships that you think you can rely on. That's what I've always really appreciated about us working together, is that I always knew, like, I I could count on you for anything, and you could count on me. Like,
Yep.
if I needed to go drop something and go do something for you, I would, and vice versa. And I think that sort of thing is rare. It's like hard to find creative partners, even just friendships that are like that. And so, very grateful for that. And I think it's partially why we were able to accomplish this huge thing, because we were just like in it.
Yeah.
We're bought in.
No, dude, same to you. Like, our partnership when it comes to creativity, I like it too, because I don't get that a lot too. I mean, I produce with other people too, but like, we're 3,000 miles away, and like we give ourselves deadlines. And again, for anyone listening out there, like, me and Brandon, and right from the get go, we talked about what's our strengths, our areas that we need to improve on, how we take feedback. And so I think through all the incarnations of all of our stories, when Brand's like, "Yo, just trust me, I'm gonna blow it up," I trust them because of what we've been able to accomplish so far. And so again, allowing that to be like, there's no bad ideas, and then even if somebody had an idea that doesn't make the final cut, it's not personal. It's just what's best. Like, you have to take the ego out and mean what's best for this piece of art, what's best for this story. And that's why I still love producing with you, whether it's film or music, because we're able to A, level up together, and B, be on the same page. And I think creatively it's the trust as well, Brandon. So cheers to us.
Yeah.